Hello, this is Stephanie Treasure, your online marketing strategist and strategic business mentor to women coaches, consultants, and service-based business owners. And I am going to do another edition of what is called the Breakthrough Files. I think I may have opened this up in another screen. And what I meant to do was to copy the link. As is customary, if you're joining me here for the first time, I always include my Facebook group on these live streams. So I'm live streaming from my page, and I'm going to share the link to my Facebook group as well so that they can tune in. Sometimes persons there don't necessarily come over to the page. Okay, so that's done. So I pretty much work with women coaches in the online space who are coaches and consultants who are looking to get more clients, get more visible, who are looking to really profit from their business. They may be making money, but not necessarily growing, or they may just be maintaining a certain status quo. They just may be, okay, for some reason that share didn't go through. They may be bringing in money, surviving, paying the bills. They may have a couple of persons on board in terms of a team that supports them, but they're not growing, and they may not be realizing as much of a profit as they'd like to. So I come in and I look at your business structure. I look at your systems that you have in place. I look at how you're marketing. I look at your programs to see if those are best fit for your ideal clients, if they're priced right for your ideal clients, and for covering your costs for delivering the program, as well as being able to pay yourself. And I look at all those things and help you to come up with proper business and marketing plan, some steps that you could take to move forward, to really start going, get to your next level and make more money, okay? And in this series called the Breakthrough Files, I'm taking questions from you, if you're in my space, on areas where you're having issues with, where you're struggling, where you're not really gaining the traction that you'd like to get. And I'm helping you in a way where I would help you if you were a person on a 45-minute marketing breakthrough session with me. So I have a consult that I do. It's free, and it's for persons who are interested in working with me, but they're not so sure if I can help. Vice versa, I'm not so sure, who I can help, what you're experiencing in your business. So it's a 45-minute session where I get to know your business, get to know more about you, what you're trying to achieve. And I'll give you some strategic advice on that session of ways forward that you can take to accomplish what you're trying to do. And then I'll suggest programs that I can support you with to actually implement, to get there, to do the how, right? So I can tell you what to do, but I'd work with you for the how part of it. So in this series called the Breakthrough Files live stream series, I'm answering questions like that in a very focused way so that you can get some answers. And if you'd like to take it further, you can sign up for the actual marketing breakthrough session, and we can have that conversation, and again, to see if you're a fit. So my question today comes from Holly Ann, and she joined my group. She saw the information about the Breakthrough Files, and she posted this question, and right away I was able to, I told her I would go live and answer it. The Breakthrough Files session that I did yesterday via live stream was a question that I took from the files of previous marketing breakthrough sessions that I've had in the past, okay? So basically, Holly is, she has a virtual assistant business, and she is in a place where she's been in business for a year. She has had a few clients, some of which have not left her a review or testimonial, if you will. And she is networking in Facebook groups. I believe she's networking on LinkedIn, not so sure if she's in LinkedIn groups as well, but she's hanging out in all the right places where she would find entrepreneurs, business owners, small business owners who may be looking for someone to support them. And she's hanging out on the places that she likes, which is Facebook and LinkedIn. She says she doesn't like Instagram or Twitter. They annoy her. And I'm all for you being strategic about where you're hanging out, where you're networking, because if you don't like where you're hanging out, then you're going to, not enjoy your marketing, not enjoy what you're doing, not enjoy showing up. So she's doing that right. And she's doing something right because she's had clients over the past year that she's been in business. However, not the amount of clients that she would like. You know, her practice is not filled with all the clients that she needs to have on board in order to pay the bills. Okay. So I made some notes here. Let me pull that up in terms of my recommendations for her. Okay, great. All right, so there's a few things. I took a look at, I was able to find her Facebook page very quickly because it was linked to her profile, which is another good thing that you're doing right, Holly, if you're listening. The fact that you have your Facebook page linked from your personal profile, so right away, as you're networking, if people want to check you out and see and learn more about you, they can do so right away because on your personal profile, your business page is listed. There's a link there that they can easily click to get there. And from there, I was able to get to your website. So that's good. I was able to find you and I was able to read up more about you. Okay. And I see that you're regularly posting on your Facebook page. But here's so there's a few things that came to mind as I did do this research that I won't get into in this forum, but I have two top recommendations for you, right? Number one is to focus on getting 3 clients or the number of clients that you need to enroll right now in order to get to a place where you're making a baseline income, right? Where you're making revenue that can pay your business expenses and a little, give you a little bit more on top of that. Definitely is some income where you can pay your expenses and pay yourself, okay? So that might look like 3 new clients right now. I'm not so sure what your rates are and what your level of packages are. I don't know if you got 3 clients at your highest level package, if that would be enough to cover costs and to be able to pay yourself some money to have you making some kind of a profit. It may be 5 clients, whatever that looks like for you. I would focus, number one, on getting those clients on board right now, okay? So that's my recommendation. And here's the how. I think I made notes of 2 or 3 things that you can do in terms of the how, okay? Number one is to reach out to colleagues and connections associated with your past or current clients. And you know who these are because you worked with those clients for some time, right? So since you're on the inside of the business, I'm sure you kind of got a feel for who they're closely connected with, other colleagues, as you did say that they are connected with other businesses. I'm sure you know quite a few of those, right? So I would reach out to those colleagues. I would follow them on social media, interact with some of their posts, and then I would reach out to them directly, right? And drop the name of your previous clients or your current clients and say, look, I've been working for Stephanie Treasure for some time and supporting her in this way. And I am reaching out to you as a mutual connection because I'd love to find out if there's a way that I can support you as well. These are some of the things that I was able to do for Stephanie Treasure, some of the benefits her business experienced from my support. And I'd like to have a talk with you, maybe 15 or 20 minutes, for us to see, so that you can see how possible I can support you and possibly add value, take some things off your plate so that you have more time and inject some efficiencies in your business that will help things to run better and help you to show up more for your clients while those things are off your plate. Okay? So that's just a spiel that I came up with just off the top of my head. But the idea here is that you want to reach out, not in a way that seems sneaky, but forthrightly saying, look, I've done some work for Stephanie Treasure. I have seen you both in the same circles. I know, both of your colleagues in some way, may not necessarily be partners, but I know that, you are a connection of hers. And I am doing things that are exciting, or I did exciting things for this person's business, and I feel that I can help you as well. How about we have a 15-minute chat where we can see what it might look like to gain my support? Okay? So, and like I said, you want to reach out to them first. You want to rather follow them on social media, and I would even dare say send a friend request, right? So that everything looks on the up and up, you're being very, very genuine. And in the friend request, what I would also do is, because sometimes people get a friend request and they're like, oh, who's this person? But you want to send a friend request and then a message saying, hey, Stephanie Church is a client of mine, and I see that you two are colleagues. You've done some collaborations together, and I wanted to introduce myself and reach out to you and extend, get connected here on Facebook or get connected here on LinkedIn as well. Okay. In that reach out where you reach out to them to ask for that chat, don't mention specific services and don't mention money in that connection, in that reach out. You just want to ask for some time to talk. And yes, you want to let them know that the conversation is going to be around how you could support them, bring value for them, increase efficiencies in their business, and take some things off their plate. So you're putting the advantages out there, right? When you talk to them and find out what, if any, support they need and what that might look like, then you can say, okay, based on what I've heard, if you'd like to go further and if you're interested in having some of those things off your plate, I'd love to put together a custom code for you and we'll take it from there. Okay? So the idea is you're not bringing money into the equation up front in that first outreach. You're just asking for some time to connect and talk, but you're opening yourself up for being able to provide a custom code depending on what they need, because they may need more things than your previous client did. And you don't want to start talking money right away, and then you end up getting committed into a fee that's way below the service that you're actually providing at the end of the day. All right. So that's number one in terms of the how. Number two, let me get to my notes here. I encourage you to reach out to members of your community. 1 second. Yes, you want to reach out to members of your community directly, right? Your email list, your followers on social media, persons that you may have worked with. I know you said you've been in business in this capacity for a year. I don't know if you were doing a previous business before or if you were working at a 9-to-5 before. But you want to reach out to people that you know, people that are already following you, people that are already on your email list if you've been building one. And again, let them know what you've been doing for other folks like them or other folks in the online business space, right? And if it is a case where the person that you're reaching out to is not in the online business space, you definitely frame it to say, look, if you know someone in this space who needs some support, let me know. And in fact, as a virtual assistant supporting persons, it doesn't need to be persons in the online business space. So you even have a wider market, even though I want to caution you, just try to stay niched, okay? And the third tip I have for you, you mentioned that you had been networking in Facebook, and this is some of the things that I'm mentioning and it's not in this caption on Facebook, but it's in the message that you in the Facebook group where you commented and you told me these things. So the third thing I would do is reach out to persons who you establish some kind of a rapport with from your networking on Facebook and LinkedIn, because you did say you were hanging out in those places and you've met persons, but you don't know where to go next. You don't know what you're missing. What you're missing is possibly taking the relationship a little bit further, right? Or following them and really knowing your clients and knowing these people and the kind of support that they need, and reaching out to them very much like you'd reach out to the colleagues of your past clients and saying, hey, I see you. You've been doing great things. You're showing up powerfully. Do you have a team in place that's supporting you with email management? I know you mentioned that on your website, or with email marketing. This is something that I've mastered, and my clients love that I give them this kind of support. And I'd love to jump behind the scenes of your business and see how I can increase some efficiencies, how I can take some things off your lap and have you show up more fully with those things off your plate, have you show more fully for your clients and in your marketing. Okay, so that's the third thing in terms of the how, right? So The first step that I had for you was to focus on getting 3 or more clients that would bring in the kind of baseline income that you need right now in order to pay your business expenses and pay yourself something, okay? And I shared with you 3 ideas of how you can do that. The second thing I have for you is to get really, really intentional and aggressive about building an email list. So going back to what you mentioned about you're very present on Facebook and you're very present on LinkedIn, I want to caution you that you can't depend on Facebook and LinkedIn to get you in front of your prospective clients in a meaningful way, in a way that can be repeated or has some kind of frequency, so that the same persons are seeing your message enough times in order to really pique their interest, have them engage with you, and eventually hire you as a provider, right? You can't, when you're on social media, you're dealing with the noise on social media, you're dealing with algorithms, you're dealing with other persons, also trying to show up as much as possible in order to get attention. And you're running the risk of the same people not seeing your message enough in order for it to have a meaningful impact. So it's not that your posts aren't good or your graphics aren't good, but you're not showing up, for those persons enough times or with enough frequency for it to have an impact where they're moved to take the next course of action, right? Which right now it seems that the way that you're posting would be for them to reach out to you, as opposed to if you were building an email list and you put an offer out to the email list, all they'd have to do is reply to the email or click the link in the email or do that next step, that call to action that you put there that makes it very easy for them to move forward, okay? So you really need to get aggressive and intentional about building an email list. I'm assuming that you're already building one. I don't recall seeing an opt-in on your website. I'd have to look again. But if you're not building an email list, that's paramount, because what you need to do is build a community of your target audience, persons in your niche who are already in the business space or whatever the niche is that you're targeting. You need them on your list, in your space, following your Facebook page, in your Facebook group if you have one, so that you have some amount of control over the frequency with which they'll see you, hear from you, see your offers, see your invitations to have a consultation, and then eventually book some time to speak with you so that you can make that sale, so that you can engage them, hire them, or have them hire you to support them in their business, okay? And that comes from building an email list. And the how, again, I'm not so sure you're building an email list, so a very basic level of the how is to create a free offer that your ideal client will find compelling, will find attractive, have an opt-in form that you get for an email marketing service like MailChimp, ActiveCampaign, GetResponse, Aweber, you name it, there's many of them. And you'll deliver that free item, whether it's a PDF or a video training or an ebook or a checklist or a video series training, whatever that is. You'll have them opt in for that, and that gets you on their email list, and then that gets them on your email list, and then you can communicate with them through a newsletter, say once a week, or maybe you'll have other messages that you send multiple times per week, and each of them having a call to action, like for instance, to book some time to speak with you, okay? Other ways that you can build an email list is through getting visible through, publicity, appearing on podcasts, writing for publications that your ideal clients would read. Hi, how are you? Thank you for joining me. So you can either guest blog, appear on podcasts. You can appear as a spotlight in other person's guest Facebook groups. So you may have noticed in my group, Pamela was a featured expert recently. So she was able to speak to my audience in the Facebook group. And from there, she was able to share her free item, her free opt-in, her free offers that third persons could sign up for. And then they'll be able to hear from her on a regular basis. Hey there, thank you so much for joining me. And so that's one way that you can build that, in terms of ways that you can build your list. That's another way you can build your list. Another way is through collaborations like telesummits and giveaways, where you have multiple people that you partner with in a very targeted way who have email lists that speak to your audience, right? That are marketing to your audience, so that through the telesummit and giveaway, you have them opt in to your space. And from there, again, you can market to them on a regular basis, send them regular newsletters, let them know about what you're doing, let them know about your offers, let them know about ways that you can support them in their business. And this would be a very focused type of marketing, as opposed to just showing up on LinkedIn and Facebook, where your posts are probably getting missed, not everybody's seeing them, and you're competing even when they are seen. Even when they are seen, they are not, you're not seen enough for persons to engage with you and take that very next step. I want to respond to a comment here on Instagram, where I'm also live streaming. Somebody had a good point. She said, PR is so important. I love collaborations too. Let me know if you're taking guest speakers. Okay, I'm going to reach out to you afterwards. So these are some ways, and I too have participated in spotlights in other people's Facebook group, where I delivered a training to their audience. They promoted this to their audience, and I left a free offer so that people could sign up to be on my email list and be in my space, so that I can continue to market to them on my terms and with my frequency, without being boggled down by all the other posts that's going to appear in a Facebook group, or all the other posts that's going to appear on LinkedIn, or on or anywhere on social media where you're hanging out. Does that make sense? So that's what I have for you, Holly, and it was quite a bit. I hope you got great value from this. Thank you for being vulnerable enough to post your question, to have it answered in this edition of the Breakthrough Files. And if you're watching this and you'd like for me to give you some targeted advice for issues that you're experiencing in your business, where you'd like someone to give you some advice that could lead you close or get you to that point where you're able to break through, have that issue resolved, and then elevate to the next level from there, okay? You can do that if you scroll on my Facebook feed, on my Facebook page, or in my Facebook group. If you're a member there, you'll see the Breakthrough Files post, and you can leave a comment on that post with your question. I may ask you a few follow-up questions like I did with Holly, and then I'll feature it on my live stream, all right? Here it is that Holly got 23 minutes worth of advice. That's how long this live stream was. So, I'd love to be able to answer your question as well. I'm trying to go as in-depth as possible, just the same way that I would if we were having a marketing breakthrough session, which is what the inspiration for the Breakthrough Files series that I'm doing right now, all right? So thank you so much for joining me. I hope you found this useful. And if you do, share it with a friend or colleague. And otherwise, I'll see you tomorrow for the next edition of the Breakthrough Files. Bye.